What is everything made out of? Almost everything you can think of: books, rooks, trains, planes, light, kites, cars, Mars, dice, mice, all of it can be separated into two big groups: matter and forces, or more technically, interactions. You probably already have a pretty good sense of what matter is. It's basically anything you can touch. It can be separated into small things called molecules or atoms. You might also know that it's made up of the things found in the periodic table, the elements such as hydrogen, neon, or oxygen. The atom itself can be divided into even smaller particles. These particles are called subatomic particles, and they are the proton, the neutron, and the electron. Protons and neutrons themselves can be divided into even smaller particles, called quarks, of which there are 6 different types. These 6 types of quarks are called the up, down, charm, strange, top, and bottom. The up and down quarks are the most common, found in almost all matter, whereas the other 4 are very rare and not commonly found. Protons are made of 2 up quarks and a down quark, whereas neutrons are made of 1 up quark and 2 down quarks. Quarks are known as fundamental or elementary particles because they cannot be divided into even smaller parts. The electron itself is already a fundamental particle in a group called the leptons, of which there are 6 different kinds. These are the electron, electron neutrino, muon, muon neutrino, tau, and tau neutrino. The neutrinos are extremely fast-moving particles that don't commonly interact with normal matter. The electron and electron neutrinos are common, while the other 4 are very rare. All matter is made up of just these 12 particles, which are collectively called the elementary fermions. These are the 6 quarks and the 6 leptons. However, matter is not the only thing that makes up the universe. There are also the forces or interactions between the particles, of which there are 4 different ones: the strong force, electromagnetism, the weak force, and gravity. Gravity, as you already know, is the force that makes things fall down. Electromagnetism is responsible for visible light, radio waves, and among other things. The strong force is what holds protons and neutrons together in nuclei and quarks together in protons and neutrons. The weak force is responsible for nuclear decay and is the cause of radioactivity. All of these forces except gravity have a particle or particles that transmit them. The strong force is carried by a particle called the gluon, electromagnetism by the photon, and the weak force by the W and Z bosons. Gravity is theorized to be carried by a particle called the graviton, but has yet to be found. These particles are collectively known as the gauge bosons, and they are responsible for transmitting forces or interactions between other particles. Finally, there's only one more particle left to discuss. In 2012, physicists found a new fundamental particle called the Higgs boson. This particle is an excitation or flare-up of the Higgs field, which you can think of as an everywhere permeating net that prevents particles with mass from traveling at the speed of light. A particle like a photon with no mass can travel through it at exactly the speed of light, whereas a particle with some mass like the electron cannot and must move slower. These 17 particles, the quarks, leptons, gauge bosons, and Higgs boson, make up something known as the Standard Model, which explains what matter and 3 of the 4 fundamental interactions are made of. Currently, our best explanation for gravity is a theory called general relativity invented by Albert Einstein. If the graviton were to be found, it would unite these theories and give us a better understanding of the universe. But for now, while the Standard Model and general relativity are not perfect, they do explain what almost everything in the universe is made out of.